Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Your captain speaking on flight deck. My name is Captain Surinder Singh. Welcome aboard the plane talking. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your journey. So, working of carburetor. How a carburetor works. Like I told you, this carburetor is outdated technology. Why? That also you will see drawback of carburetor. You will see how it works. It is replaced with the fuel injectors, even in the aircraft. Even the last automobile which was there was scooty, but even in the scooty it is uh, replaced with the fuel injector. It is a better technology. We will discuss about that also after finishing carburetor, because carburetor had a lot of drawbacks. One of the common was there that starting in the winter, that was a basic problem, and there are few more which after finishing carburetor we will see. But how the carburetor works, the basic principle we already seen, equation of continuity. That is one of the major principle by which this whole designing of the carburetor is done. We saw in the equation of continuity, if there is a converging duct, velocity increases, pressure decreases. After that it is diverging. This is throat or choke or whatever you want to call it. After that it is diverging. So up to here velocity is increasing and pressure is decreasing. So basically a suction is created. I will share. Okay, this is the actual carburetor, and when you look it, you will find it is exactly like this. This is the throttle valve which you're opening. It is converging and then it is diverging. That's how this design of carburetor is. So here you are creating a suction. So this air is coming. What you need more? You need fuel. So whatever this ambient is there, through the filter it is directed here. When you open the throttle or close the throttle, you control air, not the fuel. Contrary to normal belief that when you open the throttle, you are increasing fuel flow or you're decreasing fuel flow. In carburetor design, I'm talking about, in carburetor, when you open throttle, you control air. When you close throttle, you are controlling the same air. Now you have to add fuel. So what happened? Where the exact this venturi is, we provide fuel exactly here, and this is leveled with the fuel which is called a reservoir. I'll show you, everything is in this compact form, but for your understanding I'm drawing like this. This is basically your reservoir. From your fuel system or fuel tank, the fuel is given in this reservoir, and the level in this reservoir is exactly maintained with a anything like this you have seen in your life. Yeah, toilet. Yeah, very good. The toilet seat or any overhead water tank. This is called float wall. Nowadays it comes in a different shape or design, but it is called float wall. That where the flush is there, inside it is, now they have become fancy kind of thing, because the water is continuously going. You need to maintain a level. You have to stop it. So this is the job done by a float wall. As the fuel reaches whatever the level you want, this will rise up and will cut off the fuel supply. As the fuel reduces, this float wall goes down. So here you can see at the tip of this nozzle, this is called main jet. It is maintained at the same level now. So up to here it is always available. Where this exact narrowing takes place, this is a level which is maintained. Now, how much fuel is drawn from this reservoir? Remember, it is a schematic diagram. Everything is in a very compact form. The carburetor which you saw. Here we have a vent. Vent means hole. This is to prevent cavitation. Now, what is cavitation? Like if you have any, even this water dispenser or any bottle or something, if you drain out some fluid out of this, when you put something, you see those bubbles which go up, that is because of cavitation. Because as the fluid comes out of this, the pressure here will drop. Let's say if this vent is not there, if this vent is not there, the pressure will drop here. Here the vacuum will be created. That is called cavitation. Same thing happens in your water bottle, also in the dispenser. So as the water comes out of it, there is a provision in this. The air goes from here to here. That's what you see, bubble which goes as the water is coming out from the water dispenser. That air enters into it, goes here and equalizes the pressure. But if I close it from here, there will be cavity formed, nothing will flow from here. So to maintain whatever this ambient pressure is, this vent is provided to maintain the positive pressure. Otherwise, there will be vacuum here. In the smaller aircraft, which they fly up to 10,000 feet, whatever the ambient pressure is there, even your fuel tank in Cessna, car fuel tank, if you see, if you that lid, there is a vent there also. To equalize the atmospheric pressure, this vent in any tank or reservoir other than battery. In the battery, the purpose of tank was to for the hydrogen to escape, which is as a chemical reaction which is produced. But aircraft which fly high, the atmospheric pressure is not sufficient. So those tanks are all pressurized. From the aircraft pneumatic system, the air is drawn and they all pressurized. All bigger aeroplane which go higher, this vent won't help you. So they all pressurized. Your fuel tank, oil tank, hydraulic tank, everything need to be pressurized. Otherwise, there will be a cavitation here. Now the fuel is there, and fuel is always maintained at the this level. This is from your fuel system. In your bike or something, fuel tank is always on the top, so it is always available. From the fuel tank, there is a pipe, plastic pipe comes, which is connected here. Now it is very simple. And as you open the throttle, you are controlling the amount of air which is going. So as the amount of air is going, velocity will increase, pressure will decrease. What will happen? The fuel is sucked out of it because this vacuum created. And like I said, if you see any mechanic servicing or something, they open the carburetor filter and then they kick it, and just to see how much the air is flowing, you can hear it. You can't miss it out. When you remove the covers and everything, when they kick, that's how this air comes. So as the suction is being created, more air means more suction means more fuel. Simple. That's how it is controlled. How much the amount of air is going. If the amount of air is going is more, the fuel drawn is more. If the less air is coming, the less fuel is. So that's how this chemically correct ratio is maintained. The purpose of carburetor to provide fuel air mixture in chemically correct ratio in atomized form at the engine intake manifold. That's what it does. Now you have to convert it into atomized form, a fine spray. Now the second part comes here. Okay, now what is this side? So you have fuel air mixture. Okay, if you are not opening this throttle, no fuel will flow. So diverging part, velocity will decrease, pressure will increase. This second half of this carburetor. Now whatever the fuel air mixture is coming, now it is going under pressure. So air and fuel under pressure, it is like your deodorant can. It is pressurized inside because fuel and air comes at a high pressure. It actually comes like a fine spray. So this diverging part is making it as a fine spray. So whatever this air which is coming and this fuel is coming, now it comes as a fine spray. Now this fine spray, it is directed to the intake manifold. That is the simple working of carburetor, how it works. So when you open throttle, remember in carburetor, it controls amount of air drawn. Now how much air is going, that much fuel is drawn. It is converted into fine spray and then it is provided for the ignition inside the cylinder. In the aircraft, we have another control. There are two controls in the aircraft. Wait, I'll show you. Okay. So in the car, bike, or any automobile, you have accelerator. Basically, accelerator, you are controlling the, which you call it also as a throttle. You are controlling the amount of air, which is controlling the fuel. In the aircraft, okay, if you fly Cessna, then you have this is a throttle and this is the mixture lever. mixture, pull, lean, it is written here. Only in Cessna, if you all these modern aircraft which are coming, this is being removed because this carburetor is replaced with fuel injector, a better technology. How it is a better technology? After finishing carburetor, we will see that. This is a mixture lever. Now, what is this mixture lever? Uh, in aircraft, if I'm going high, let's say I go 5,000, 6,000 feet or something, the density of air reduces. But what about the fuel density? That will remain same. Fuel is also coming as a spray, but the air which is coming, the density is reduced. For the same setting of the carburetor, when you're opening throttle, now whatever that fuel air mixture is going, the density of air is reduced, fuel is same. So for the same setting of your throttle, air is become less because of density, but the amount of or the weight of the fuel which is going is same. Again, I repeat, at higher altitude, density is reduced, so the weight of the air as a spray which is coming is reduced, but the fuel is same. So the mixture becomes rich. Rich mixture doesn't help you. Why? Because it will come as unburnt fuel. Basically, fuel economy will reduce without adding to your power. So here comes the purpose of mixture lever in this aircraft. So how the mixture works, just for again schematic diagram for the understanding part of carburetor mixture. It is called pin type, but I have drawn in a manner so it becomes very easy for your understanding. Obviously, you can control the amount of fuel. So throttle controls in the aircraft. Okay, you don't take your bike or car at 5,000 feet unless you go in the hilly region. Okay, those professional bikers or something, those who used to operate carburetor fitted bikes. Obviously, if I'm going at higher elevation, I will adjust the carburetor setting. So nowadays you don't get that carburetor thing. But aircraft will fly at 5,000 feet, 10,000 feet. So that's why this mixture lever is given. So throttle controls air and mixture controls fuel. Again, I am reminding in the carburetor fitted aircraft, because in the fuel injector you don't need this. Why? That also we will see. So what happen normally? You take off mixture rich. As I come to cruise, there is a method. It is like you can screw unscrew kind of thing. You can see there are threads. You don't pull it. You will shut down the engine. Practically, if you happen to fly carburetor fitted aircraft, you come to the cruise, you start leaning the mixture. Basically, you reduce the mixture. So you keep looking at RPM because your mixture is become rich. Let's say I'm cruising at 6,000 feet or 7,000 feet. So I look at RPM and I'll start unscrewing it, basically making it lean. How much? Till the RPM, you will find as you are reducing the mixture, RPM stays there. So basically mixture is rich, your power is not getting affected. At the stage where it start reducing, you increase one rotation and you leave it there only. So before descent, again you will make it rich. And in cars or bikes, or how you shut down engine? By cutting off the ignition. In the aircraft, you don't shut down. You have ignition switch. We will see that also when we come to. You have ignition switch in Cessna type of aircraft like this also. So you have this ignition switch in the aircraft also, but we don't use it. In the aircraft, we use mixture lever to shut down. So as you come, park, put your parking brake or something, you pull this mixture, pull, lean. Lean means you hold it till the fuel supply stops and you cut off the engine. So in the aircraft, obviously to control the mixture during cruise, during descent, standard checklist in this there, as you before you commence descent, you have to make mixture fully rich. Obviously in cars, you don't take at 5,000, 10,000 feet or something, you don't need mixture lever. Please copy this. Okay, and then we will see what are the drawbacks of carbureting. कुछ बोलते भाई ना लास्ट में, बहुत टाइम से वीडियो नहीं बनाया मैंने कोई. Stay tuned. This is your captain speaking.